Good morning, everybody. Let me introduce myself. My name is Alfiah Nurul Hikmah from Group 10, which consists of myself, Miska Sabrina, Nugraheni Alatif, and Slamet Widodo. Here, I will continue the presentation from Group 9 regarding the material delivering speech. The discussion will be started by myself with material mastering the location. Delivering your speech. Mastering the location. First, the room. Do not wait until the moment you step up to speak to see what it will be like. Check out the room or venue and the podium before you need to speak. Check the width of the room and where the audience will be seated. Rehearse giving the imaginary audience eye contact. Will you be lighter brightness than the audience? Will they be able to see your face? Can you easily project your voice to the background? Will you have a microphone? Second, the podium. Check the podium. Approach it with the confidence you should exhibit when speaking. Touch it, lean on it. Is it the right height? Is it sturdy? Are your feet visible? Is there enough light to see your notes placed on top? Will you be well lit? Is the podium easily visible to the entire audience? How far left and right do you need to look to see the whole audience? If you are using note cards, try placing them on the podium to be sure they will work and you can maneuver them easily. Plan where you will stand. It does not have to be behind the lectern. Practice standing with good posture. Know where you will keep your hands and be sure your gestures are not hidden by the podium. You might be a speaker who does not stay behind the podium, but you should still check it out. Every morsel of familiarity will contribute to your confidence in speaking. Third, the equipment. If you are using any multimedia such as PowerPoint, slides, video, or music, try it long before the speech. Of course, you would have practiced the speech with the media on your own. But if at all possible, run it in the venue in which you will speak. Check the controls, slide clicker, and the relationship between the screen and the podium. Be sure that the audience can see you as well as the screen. The screen should be positioned so you can glance at it without turning away from the audience. You should not be reading from the screen. Check your own files to be sure the equipment in the room can play it correctly. Do not assume that every file can be played. Always be prepared by having multiple versions of your audio or video. If you have only one version and it does not play, you will be very frustrated. Check all PowerPoint slides. Give a last look at the spelling, content, and watch for some typical issues such as change of formatting and inserted video or audio files not playing. Even seasoned presenters break into a cold sweat over equipment failures or unpleasant surprise. So, avoid distress by checking the equipment. Fourth, using a microphone. In some cases, rather than merely using live voice projection, there will be a microphone for amplification. If at all possible, test it before the performance. Be sure the amplification is suitable for your projection. Be sure how near or far you should be for proper audio pickup. It's important to note that amplification cannot make up for poor articulation or weak inflections, but it can compensate for a room that is large or acoustically insufficient for speech. If you are prone to move away from the podium or plan any movement, be aware that the microphone must be considered. If it's a stationary microphone, be careful to maintain a consistent distance, or the volume of your speaking will pop from louder to softer. Change in volume or position can result in distortion or feedback. Be careful that consonants do not ring with amplification. In some venues, the time delay with the reverberation can cause an overlap of vocal sounds. You may have to slow down or use more pauses to prevent syllables from overlapping. The fifth, water rules. Water is the only liquid that should be provided for a speaker. It should be cool, but not ice cold, to prevent temperature shock to the throat and vocal cords. If it is poured into a glass, the glass should not be too full, so the quantity does not overwhelm the speaker. Under no circumstance should there be ice in the glass or in the picture at the podium. Pieces of ice can be a choking hazard to speaker who is focused on speaking rather than drinking. The current trend is to provide bottled water for a guest speaker. It should be opened, but the cap kept on assuring sanitation. The water should be placed on an absorbent tray that prevents suction from making raising the glass difficult to pick up. Drinking water is necessary for the hydration of the vocal cords. The act of taking a sip is sometimes used to achieve a pause speech for effect.
Preparing notes. Once you've created a comprehensive outline and thought-provoking of your speech, you are set to be able to make your note card or whatever else you might use. Every speaker is a little different, and the topic of the speech is different, and organizational patterns may require different notation technique. Your note card should have sufficient information to send its speech without missing details and arrange in the exact order you plan it. A common technique is to print an outline in a font large enough to read from a distance. You should be able to catch a glimpse of the card, quote it to bearings, and look back at the audience. If you read the card word for word, right there too many words except that appropriately extended quotation or group of those statistics must be conveyed exactly. Make sure your note of card are numbered so you can prepare it. Color coding is often done to differentiate easily cards at a glance. Losing your place can be stressful and annoying audience. Avoid writing or printing on both sides. Turning the page of card will distract the viewer. The audience doesn't have to be aware of the recording. The best way is to slide the card sideways, advance to the next card. Rehearse your speech using the tone you will bring to the podium. Make sure you can glance at your notes, get your information, and look to make eye contact with your audience. Rehearsing your speech. Rehearse your speech loud and ideally with a college or fellow sudden as spectator. Practice in a mirror if necessary. There were some sudden recording rehearsal speech so they could get a feel for what the truth really was the audience will hear. If you are using presentation aids, practice with them to determine the timing and timing familiarity so you only have to glance at the screen of the easel. The time speech to be sure within the allotted time. Spoken phrases as you put them in actual delivery. Plan what to do your hand. So you also need to know exactly how your speech will begin and end, regardless of how depending of the speaker's note. Here's one constant word of advice. Know exactly how are you going to start your speech, not just ideas, but word for word with every inflection, every movement, every eye contact with the audience. The first few sentences should be so ingrained that you can do it in a ad quite without batting an eye. The introduction memorizes several purposes. First, it gives you the opportunity to breathe and realize it's not too bad to be up there. Second, let the audience know you are ready. Third, a signal to the audience that what are you going to say is urgent. Finally, it gives you the opportunity to make direct eye contact and grab the attention of the audience. Eye contact is a cue for the audience. You care about them. The conclusion of your speech is just as important. In show business language, the suffix form at the songs of scan is called a button. This is tada, moment that the audience will know you are done. And now it's their turn to clap their hands. The final impression of your speech, going with the audience, is greatly influenced by how effective the ending is. Content and structure, though, you also have to know exactly how you are going to end up. So, no top, no strapping book, no, I guess that's all feeling. Someone who is confident, a decisive that will be attract to the audience to you. A logical ending to be very self-confidence effective in maintaining a last impression on the audience.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, my name is Miska Sabrina. Now I will explain to you about managing stress. Okay, usually the stress comes when we feel unconfidently when we delivering our speech in front of public. And stress physically causes muscle to tighten, often included vocal cords, that rise and often limits the vocal pitch of the speaker under stress. The tempo of the speech may also be affected. Novice speakers tend to rush and talk to be anxious to get it over with. It is a factor to remember in a corporate or business meeting. The speaker should speak slowly enough because what he has to say is important and the audience should listen. Remember, as notes above, rushing gives the impression that the speaker thinks the message is not worth the time. Stress can accelerate perspiration. It is wise to have a facial tissue or a small towel handy for dabbing for comfort. Stress can also make the mood and throat feel dry. Slipping water is a simple solution. There are a myriad of solutions to relieving a speaker's stress, from hypnosis to imagine the audience to be naked. Among the simplest and most effective is to do a moderate amount of exercise prior to the speech. Even a basic as walking. Exercising helps to naturally, chemically relieve the tension and helps deepen the breathing that supports the voice. Okay, now step for effective delivering your speech. The first is approach the podium as you rehearse it. The second, stand with confident posture. The third, deliver your brilliant opening. The fourth, realize you are ahead with the audience. The fifth, breathe. The sixth, spontaneously interject a humorous observation related to your topic. The seventh, make all your point without hesitation. Likes, or oops, maybe just it's from me, and will be continue to the next presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, next. I'm the last author who will explain the appendixation of conclusion. The actual test for this substitution material is the actual speech presentation, like voice and articulation. Understanding what makes speech effective without practice is inadequate. Simply knowing the best shape for a golf twist is of no use unless it is put into practice, and practice reinforcing knowledge, understanding the rules for driving in the street is smooth. 1. And are dangerous if the rules are not obeyed in practice. The same applies to this chapter. Exercise in speaking will make you more effective in speaking. And next, I will review questions and activities. Number 1, develop a list of 10 potential speech topics. For each topic, think of the setting in which a speech on that topic may be delivered. Next, determine what types of delivery, manuscript, memorized, impromptu, extemporaneous, would be most appropriate for the topic and setting. Number 2, what 3 aspects of vocal delivery do you believe are most important to a speaker's credibility? Number 3, how make a speaker can affect the audience perception of him or her. Number 4, what the guidelines did you find most useful in the section about what to wear for your speech? Number 5, how do you perceive speakers who do not make eye contact with their audience. What suggestion would you give the speaker to improve their eye contact? Number 6. What type of equipment is available in the speech where you plan to give your speech? What kind of presentation can be used with these types of equipment? Number 7. List 3 methods you would personally use to reduce your anxiety before your speech. Number 8. What piece of advice from the chapter did you find most useful? Thank you very much, and thanks for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.